Hello everyone, and this is Takara from Magnificent You, and today I want to share with you the concept of the honeymoon. And what I'm going to share with you about this is literally something that can change your life. Understanding this principle of the honeymoon period and how it affects you in every single new thing that you encounter, whether it's a friendship, a romance, a business, going to school, getting married, having everything that you do. This honeymoon period principle actually affects you in that case. So what I'm going to explain to you is actually something that was explained to me by a psychologist years and years and years ago. She was someone who specialized in organizational development, and this was taught to me in relationship to quitting one job, not really quitting one job, being promoted to a position on the other side of the United States, going into a management position, and then helping to start up a brand new plant. The level of stress was off the scales, and a lot of people were having a really hard time, including me. And so this psychologist was brought in and did a lot of training, team development stuff with us, organizational development, which is what she'd been trained in. And she shared this concept with me, and it has made a huge difference in my understanding of relationships, my understanding of what happens when people get new jobs. So I want to share it with you because it's so, so valuable. Okay, so this is reality. Okay, so whatever it is that you're starting, this is the reality of the thing. So let's say it's a new job, or let's say it's a brand new relationship. So reality looks like this, okay? So time moves this in this direction. Okay, so this is the beginning of the relationship, and this is further out and further out and further out into the relationship. And this scale here is talking about your level of happiness. So down here, you're not happy at all, and up there, it's total euphoria. And so these are the scales, and this is what reality really is like for the new job or for the new relationship. When you start anything new, you almost always have on, I can't find my cursor, rosy colored glasses. So I've made it rosy to show the rosy colored glasses. So this is reality. This is what things are really like. This is what the job is like, the company is like, the corporate environment is like, the location where you just moved. This is what the person is like that you just started dating. But when the rosy colored glasses are on because it's new and you're excited about it, where is that silly cursor? There it is. This is what you think it's like, okay? You're looking through your perception of what you thought you heard it was going to be like, or what you're perceiving that it's like, when truthfully, it's not like that at all. And so there's this difference. There's this difference between where things really are, which is here, and what you perceive them to be, which is here. So you're actually happier because you've created it that way than reality warrants. Okay, you're in that blissful brand new state of excitement where it sounded great and you're excited to be part of it, and it's wonderful, and the new person is wonderful, and the new business is wonderful, and all of that's going on. And then out through time, because things change and stuff happens that are out of looking like what you thought things were, over time, more and more of that happens. Suddenly, all of a sudden, one day, someday, you have this sudden realization that things are not as great as you thought they were. Now, you would think, since this is reality and this is where you were, that this realization would make you just drop down to reality. But that is not the case at all. What actually happens is that you plunge into unhappiness, anger, and or despair. So you are up here thinking life is glorious, this new relationship is fabulous, or this new job, or this new location, or this new car, or this new computer, or whatever it is. And then suddenly, as you begin to realize that this is not okay and that's not okay, and things are, as reality starts chipping away at the euphoric view you once had, you plunge down into unhappiness, anger, and or despair. And what I want you to notice is that the distance between reality and your perception, the distance between truth and illusion, this distance here, is how far you fall below reality in your level of unhappiness. Okay? So if this is a big distance, if you're here when you begin to fall, that distance right there is how far below the line you're going to come in how unhappy you're going to be. So the more distorted your perception of reality, the deeper your plunge, the more unhappy and angry and sad you're going to become when you realize that reality is different than what you thought it was. So there's two ways to fix this. The first way is to try to narrow the gap from the get-go. Like, see as clearly as possible from the beginning. What is this person really like? What is this company really like? What is this new job? What is this new relationship? Whether it's a romantic or business or just some new person that you've invited into your life because you met them someplace and they seemed interesting. Whatever that perception is, you want to take off the rosy colored glasses and see clearly, so you don't go into things looking like everything is fabulous. That's not to think that, it's not to be a skeptic and think that everything is awful. It's to try to see as clearly as possible. And the more clear you are, the more easily it is to see reality in its truth versus super rosy colored glasses all the time. You want to get clearer and clearer and clearer in your perception, so that when reality sets in, when the honeymoon period's over and the plunge occurs, the distance you fall is only like this much, as opposed to from this line all the way down to this line, so that your fall will be shorter. So seeing more clearly is one way to do that, and so I highly recommend that you try to go into everything looking for it in reality, not like this Pollyanna or this blindly believing that it's euphoric when there's obviously some other things going on that need to be looked at right away. The other way to fix this is, when the fall occurs, which it always does, try to recover quickly and then move on. Okay? Some people, especially if they're on here, if you thought it was this and you suddenly realize it's here and you fall down to here and you get angry and you get sad and you get whatever you get, some people never recover from that, and they leave the job, they leave the relationship. Like, they just cannot get over the fact that things were not the way they thought they were. But your job, what you need to actually do, is to realize that this is reality. You thought it was here, but it's actually there. So when you find yourself coming to the realization that everything isn't as you thought it would be, your job is to, once again, try to see more clearly so you can step up and start operating out of a real view of the relationship, of the job, of the situation, and move on at this level of happiness, which is balanced, which is harmonious, which is in truth. That is where you want to be, and these are the two ways to do that. See more clearly so that you're not so rosy, and try to recover. So those are my thoughts on the honeymoon period and how it can improve your life.